Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of Redzone In the Lab. A lot has gone on today. Well, maybe not a lot, but something really big. The Commanders have given two-time Pro Bowler Jon Allen permission to trade. Today, Adam Peters also had his presser, so we're going to take a listen to that presser. We're going to talk about Jon Allen, and we're also going to talk about who's next. Somebody going to be released, extended, traded, given permission to seek a trade, all of, all of the above. Right after this.
Yeah, man, people ask that question all the time, man. But look, I was born into this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bleed Berkeley and gold. I bleed DC. This is my home. This is my squad. Regardless of all the name changes and all that, man, it's Berkeley and gold for me. It's DC for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm here, man. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.
Yo, what up, CeeLo? What is good with your homie? How you feeling, Mike?
What's good, man? Doing all right, man. It's, stuff starting to heat up. About to get into the combine, about to hear some news, free agents, trades. It's all coming together.
Yeah, man, it's definitely starting off. I'm excited. We got our first news today with Jon Allen. That's absolutely exciting. We have a lot more that's going to be coming up soon. But what was that like? Like when we got the to kind of go back a little bit, the presser was at 12, right? The news came around like 9-10, right? So it's like, Adam Peters, you ain't slick, bro. Like, I see what you did. You ain't think we had enough motion in the ocean during the combine. You know what I'm saying? So you must have think we ain't had nothing to talk about, or they ain't had no questions to ask you at the combine. So of course this is going to drop early in the morning. But what was your first thought when you saw that drop?
Yeah. I thought I was a little bit not surprised. Given the current state of his circumstances, age, salary, last year, all that kind of stuff. Good. So yeah, man, I just felt like, Adam was trying to do his best to make sure Jon had enough leeway to go and work out a deal with another team. So I felt like it was appropriate, man. It's that time, like I said. This is when things start moving and shaking. The combine opens up. I think they got starting to do weigh-ins and stuff like that next couple of days. And I feel like perfect time to get together and, agents get together with GMs. And so it kind of made sense to me. So we'll talk about later what I think going to happen, but I'm not surprised. Wasn't surprised.
I'm not surprised at all, man. Belante was good. Yes, first in the building. CJ was good. Living in Orlando. Shout out to you down there. Any so in Orlando, is there any Jaden Daniels gear? Any Commanders gear down there? Yes, hit the like button, please. Don't start that kicking stuff either. I don't know, man. We'll see. Allen and a late pick for Debo in the kitchen. We're gonna talk about that. Radar was good. Trail was good. I was hoping he was gonna get
Uh,
ring with Miles here. Nope. I mean, so like, let's continue to talk about Jon Allen. Um, do you see anybody in the comments? CJ say none. My folks send me stuff or I come home. Um, do you see a path where Jon Allen actually stays here?
I'm curious what the commenters think. Uh, I do not. I do not. I don't. Adam doesn't seem to be the type of guy to go that runs it back. I don't know if you what you think, but I feel like once he's moved on, he probably like bigger, better things. Um, and it's not like John. I mean, John Allen. Someone said we could talk about this at some point, Deuce. But do we think Jonathan Allen is the greatest interior D tackle of this organization? Um,
Um,
and so that's something we should probably talk about. But otherwise, no, I don't see him running it back.
Trust and I think that was just lip service. AP wants picks, and if he is in trade, he saves a 17 million on the cap. So incremental improvement. So I think from the reports, right? I think one of the reports was that Jon Allen and his team or whoever came to AP asking if they could kind of see what's out there. I'm thinking that they already had conversations with them probably after the season on the direction of what they thought about Jon Allen. They could have gave him a number. Um, they could have said, well, we're just gonna let you play on this last year. We're gonna take the hit, or they could have said, we'll convert some money, or they probably gave him an extension number that he didn't like. So I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, man. Right? Like it's kind of hard to tell because we don't know the exact conversation that they had, but just some reports from John Keim making it, it seems like they willing to take a six, even a seventh. So if because of the D tackles in this draft is so deep, um, if they offer a six or a seventh and you take it, to me, that's telling me you're going to release him anyway.
I 100% agree. I think there's zero chance John Allen is a commander. Zero. Um, this is about getting younger. We talk about a lot of these scenarios throughout the week. This is still Adam Peters as a GM. He's going to build through the draft. He's going to get younger. He's going to, continue to build the lines, offensive, defensive lines. He sees what we see. This draft is loaded. Right. So why are you going to extend a 30-year-old? Granted, he's decent. A 30-year-old, D tackle at $20 million a year doesn't make any sense.
And I also think nationally, they look at Jon Allen a little different than how we look at Jon Allen. Mm-hmm. Like I think they look at him, as a top 10 D tackle. And I mean he was that a couple years, and I just think that's just how the league is. Like once you kind of get like some Pro Bowls under your belt, or you're one of the best at a position a certain time, you do that a year or two, it's like it sticks with you like throughout your career. And that's what people kind of look at you that don't actually see you from day to day. So I'm just interested in what, as far as D tackles, if you're one of these teams that's interested in him, what is going to look like in the draft around the 4th, 5th round. I mean, if you get two teams that's willing to tangle it out, you might sneak in there and get a 4th or a 5th. You know what I mean? Like you never know, but it seems like teams is already calling as early as this morning about what a trade would look like.
Yeah. I'd be surprised, but you never know. Like you said, every time we're on national TV or any kind of that's the go-to, right? They always point
Mhm.
to our two interior D tackles. That's our bread and butter, Payne
Yep.
and
That's what
Allen.
we
So
know. That's how we
that's what
know.
we known for. Even
Right.
though it may not be always living up to
Right.
the hype, that's what we known for. So you're right.
Right.
That does kind of stick.
It's like them D tackles. It's like when anytime, like even when we play, especially when we're on national TV, they always talking about it's going to start with Allen and Payne. It's going to start
Yep.
with Allen and Payne. It's all about Allen and Payne. We're like, nah, bro, it's not going to start with Allen and Payne.
It's really
You know
not.
what I'm saying? So when it comes to Payne, man, when it comes to Allen, it kind of depends which teams are interested, right? Because I think if you're interested in Jon Allen, I don't think you really want to take a chance from him hitting the market unless you absolutely know he's a person that's going to want to come to you. And if you trade for him, there's going to be an extension number he's going to be looking for also. So it's still a lot of moving parts when it comes to Jon Allen and what's going to happen in the next coming days. But I absolutely think something is going to happen within this week. It's the combine. Everyone is there. Everyone is having conference. And this is another thing about when we have that is the combine. When we have our little combine debates, like is it necessary, blah blah blah. But as far as willing and dealing, agents, like everybody is here. Like everybody is everybody who's somebody that makes decisions is in Indianapolis this week. And this is where everything usually kind of happens. So I absolutely think we'll see something with Jon Allen within the next week prior to free agency. Brandon says you always like what you don't have. Fans of teams love other teams' players. That's so true. Because if Jon Allen was on another team, we're probably like, man, what can he do with us? What can he? I mean, we doing that right now with Debo, right? Like, I mean, just Cup, Debo, like we're literally doing that right now where you got this team trying to get rid of this player. And here we go thinking this player is going to be a big impact for us when this team is getting rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So Pearl says they need to try to trade him with Cincy to get they need to well, whatever works. It's like admiring a female from a distance that you hardly get to know, and you're like, nah, she ain't even like that. Brandon be wild, bro. Brandon is wild, bro. Cincinnati would never pay his entire salary. But that's the thing, though. Wherever he goes to, I think him and the team, it'll benefit both of them to extend them, unless it's a 6 or 7 round pick. Like if it's a 6 or 7 round pick, it might not be no extension involved. So I think it's still a whole lot of 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 moving parts. And let me pull up. I want to pull up Peters. Let's walk through Peters real quick. Um, have you listened to it yet, CeeLo?
I don't think only only bits and pieces.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. It'll be our first time. Let's see what we got.
NFL. I first met him. I first actually.
Can you hear it, CeeLo? Let me see something.
Here.
Oh boy, this looks funny. Let's see. All right, let's go.
Thanks for coming. Before we get started, I just want to say one thing and thank somebody. And
Hold
Mark
up.
Macon
Hold
Martin has
up. Did something happen? Did somebody say something about T. Higgins?
I questioned it before.
Because he just posted, he tweeted cap, like the cap. He tweeted that. And then Ian Rappaport did the eyes emoji.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering what T is referring to because I don't see anything.
I don't either.
Uh,
Decided to retire, and I can't say enough great things about him. He spent 26 years in the NFL. I first met him. First, actually, the first.
so yeah, that did happen. Martin Mayhew. Do you think that was that a surprise? I think his contract just ran out. I think him and Hurney, they just hey man, just let their contracts run out. Hurney probably was like, whatever. And Mayhew was retiring. He retired twice with us, so each his own, man. But AP made it sound like he was always in his ear, and he was, he trying to send him out with better grace with this fan base. Shout out to AP, man. So what you think about it?
So I will say the only unique thing about Marty is Martin Mayhew. He did play for the team, so there's a little bit of more of a nostalgia and connection, maybe some genuine connection to the team. So, I think that's what's up. I can see them being a little bit more sentimental about stuff like that, but otherwise, yeah, ain't no surprise.
Yeah, like whatever.
Time I ever had any correspondence at Georgetown, which is pretty impressive. And for the last a year, a little over a year,
This
when I
picture's
got
real
here,
clear.
he was one of the first people that I really wanted to keep and work with, and I was
See
lucky
what I'm
enough that
saying?
he
Like
wanted
he
to
trying to
stay.
send him off. He
And
trying to send him off in good
we couldn't have
graces.
done what we did
Yep.
last year without him. He was
Look,
instrumental in
look,
everything we
look,
did
look.
in terms of the draft, free agency. He made a lot of big deals in free agency, and he was just a great friend, great confidant, just a great person.
Great
And
confidant.
so, just wanted to thank him for all he's given to this franchise and this league, and he will be missed. But just wanted to just say how much I appreciate him. He's we talk about commanders a lot. He's a true commander. So
There go that
with
commander
that,
word
I'll take
again.
some questions and
Commander
let's get
word.
rolling.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still looking into that right now, Nikki. Nothing. We don't have anybody earmarked for that exact role. But he does leave a big hole in terms of the front office. He did a lot of things for us, and
Like
he's
what?
a person I leaned on a lot. So
Like
we'll
what?
look
Like what
to
did
fill
he
that in,
do?
whether it's immediately or in the future, after the
Drafted
draft or something. We're
Forbes.
still looking through that.
Like bro, I don't believe that. Let me tell you why, bro. He knew he was retiring. Whatever today, yesterday, whenever he actually retired, I'm sure Adam Peters knew about it. And for this guy to have such a big role and leaving such a big hole in the front office tells me that this is the first time Adam Peters has been incompetent. Because why do you not have someone lined up for such a big role? And I don't think he's incompetent at all. Like, bro, just like Dog Tie said, he's saying a whole lot of ums and uhs, bro. Like, you are gaslighting Martin Mayhew, bro. You're gaslighting Martin Mayhew. But hey, man, shout out to Adam Peters, man. Nikki asked about
Yeah,
Jon Allen.
that is true. We have done that, and with John, he's another person who's been a great commander, a great person for this franchise, and he's going in the last year of his deal, and wanted to give him and his representation, Blake Baratz, who's a really good agent. He's talked about it and said wanted to be able to explore opportunities, and so
Let me go back a little bit.
we let representation, Blake Baratz, who's a really Yeah, that is true. We have done that, and with John, he's another person who's been a great commander, a great person for this franchise, and he's going in the last year of his deal, and wanted to give him and his representation, Blake Baratz, who's a really good agent. He's talked about it and said wanted to be able to explore opportunities, and so we let them do that, and we're staying in contact with them, like every day. Just texted with them this morning, and really everything's still on the table in terms of whether it's a trade or staying here or whatever. So we're still going through that. It's kind of early in the stages. We haven't done a lot of exploring yet, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
All right. Let that sink in real quick. Tim, like, I mean, like the defensive tackle draft is very deep. This is, I mean, they got like, I think it's 24 um day one starters in this draft, and it's like 40 overall of contributors. Um, uh, a fourth round pick I would love. I think fifth round is what it end up being. But whatever you can get for him, especially if you're thinking about just releasing him, you just got to get it. Yeah, right, James and Adam. I trust Adam too smart for them. I believe anything Allen did would include an exchange. I would like that too, like a fourth or maybe some pick swaps or something like that. That'll benefit us. I will love it. Trust say easy. Marty was instrumental in making sure everybody had pens and notebooks all season. Right, bro. Like, bro, man, anybody can do that, man. Definitely trying to formulate the lie on the fly. Like facts, bro. Like, who you not fooling nobody, Adam. Um, Adam knew he was the guy when he went toe to toe with Howie Roseman. I've been there, AP. So I'm still kind of confused, like where the actual, uh, like we said earlier, CeeLo. I'm thinking they had a conversation like some weeks ago. They let them know what's what. So they, just think about it. What do you all want to do? Blah blah blah. They came back and said, "Hey, look, we want to see what's out there." Like he said, they've been keeping daily contact with them from the past couple of days. He made it seem like he said they text this morning, probably when the news broke. I don't think it came from Adam Peters. I'm thinking it came from Jon Allen team. But they probably agreed. Like now, it's okay to put it out there so people can know about it. I think this was all timed perfectly between the two. And I do believe they are keeping in constant communication. But if you're going to believe Adam and follow along as he tells these stories, then you have to believe that there's a chance that Jon Allen can come back, CeeLo. Because he said it. It's on the table. Trade or coming back. Like, it's all on the table.
He did say that Emmanuel Forbes might be an important part of this team. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I mean, you could think, good luck. Whatever you want to, think. I support whatever Adam Peters says. I think Jon Allen is a fantastic interior tackle. I think whatever team gets him is going to get a great interior tackle. I think a fourth round pick, even a third round pick, is like great value. So, yeah.
I'm trying to get that for you, Dog Tie. I'm not sure what it was. I think somebody posted it today. They got scheduled text to John Asian. they don't really care. Automated text message like Magic Tweet Chat GBT is crazy. All right, let's see. Oh, it was senior personnel executive advisor to the GM.
What?
Senior personnel executive // senior personnel executive / advisor to the GM is the official title. That's right, CJ. Yeah, lip service to keep leverage during negotiations. All right, let's see what they got.
We haven't really set any deadlines. We're just going to stay in contact, and we'll meet with him. He'll be here later this week. Blake will, and so we'll reconvene there. But I think that the two main things is we're always going to do what's best for our organization, but we also want to do right by John too. And so those things are important to us.
He's gone. Friday we're going to hear something, right? His agent going to be there this weekend. Friday, Saturday. We want to do what's best for our organization. That's first and foremost. Obviously, what Jon Allen and want from us is not best for our organization. So I'm thinking Jon Allen is going to be traded by Monday morning. Assistant to the regional manager. Shout out to the office. Senior personnel executive advisor to GM. I'm just here to to get fired or retire. I just think they just let him it's his buddy, his friend. They had to pay him anyway, so just keep him around the building. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, good job to Adam. Let me read out this tweet real quick. This is so I put out a tweet earlier. What's the most out of pocket question you would ask Adam Peters at his pressers today? Now this was like 30-40 minutes before the trade news came out. So one dude said this was before the trade news came out, and this is before the Mayhew retirement. Like this is for the presser because we didn't know about the retirement until the presser, right? This is what this dude Jared at Scott _Smiley said. In the words of Jason Todd, why on God's earth is he still here? Points at Mayhew. So I said the point would be insane, especially if he's sitting next to him. Bro. So dude, he straight bullied Mayhew into retirement is insane, bro. Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
How important for you as free agency in the coming months to balance it out with some veteran talent to kind of get this team to the next level?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we always want to build through the draft, and we'll continue to do that.
Build through the draft.
In the situation we're in, we got 28 free agents. I think 28. So we got a lot of holes again on our roster in terms of players that played really well for us last year. So we'll be active in free agency because we have to be.
Now, listen, we're going to be active in free agency because we have to be. Bro, we have to have 90 players going into training camp. Like, we have to, right? So, like, you're going to see some people that you don't want to see. We're trying to prepare you for that. You're going to see people re-signed or signed to this team you don't want to see. Just be prepared for it.
Yep.
To field the team, but a lot of those will look to bring a lot of the guys we had back from last year.
CeeLo, what did you say? Dog tag, but with that title, they don't need to fill that position. The scouting and all that. Yeah, I think so. I don't think they fill that role because you generally wait till after the draft to move on from people. Let me play it again, CeeLo. Let me play it again.
See, because we have to be just to field the team, but a lot of those will look to bring a lot of the guys we had back from last year and then build off of that.
What do you say? What you think, CeeLo? We're looking to bring a lot of those guys, those 28 free agents, back to build off what we had. What does that mean, CeeLo?
I don't like it. I don't like it, but I feel like that's what they're gonna do, man. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of familiar faces in that room. Granted, I think some of those faces will be back because we can bring them back at whatever price we want. I think we still will be active in the true free agent market, which is outside of Commanders Park, in my opinion.
He said a lot of those that could mean 4 or 20. That's true. That's true, Ronald. You know what I'm saying? It's free agency.
Ronald Esquire.
It's the combine.
Legal services.
Sorry, you're talking at the same time.
Where's the team's confidence with Marshon Lattimore right now?
Really high. We're
Trigger. No, dog tie. We are not bringing back Clean Farrell. Not at all. No way. Trigger. He's talking about number 23.
With Marshon, I spoke about it at the end of the year, and he came into a tough situation, and he competed his ass off, his tail off, and he's the type of guy we want on the field, and we're really excited to have him in this offseason and build with him.
You try to stick to a height,
I'll get you next.
height, weight, speed, characteristics by position, and if so,
Like he talking about height, weight, speed. I think somebody else. So I mean, which well, I will. Okay, I'm gonna hear your thoughts about it. What's the undertone on that, CeeLo? What you think the undertone on that comment about Marshon Lattimore?
I mean, he's speaking facts, right? They traded, some healthy picks for a guy who came in injured. The injury was probably a little more serious than they expected, and not happy, but they're going to stick with it. It's not going to be something they're going to walk away from after just a couple games. So, however, I think the truth is in his actions, not his words.
Yeah.
If Adam Peters goes out and is spending, a first or second or even a third on a defensive back, or going out and picking up DJ Reed or Shavarius Ward or something like that, then that tells you, to me, a lot of what he thinks about his DB room. And it's gonna be open competition. What if he does all of the above? So let's see what he does in this offseason.
Keeping Laddie incentive to anger management. This is what I read. I traded for an injured guy. I didn't think he was going to be out that long. I'm losing the trade, but I'm sticking with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking with it because I gave up too much to just quit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was my first big player trade as a GM. Well, as far as bringing assets in, bringing player in, sending assets out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna keep it going.
Yeah. So, and to your point about what does the action say? If Marshon is not getting an extension, right, along with them drafting a cornerback, which I think they should do either way, right? I think they should draft a cornerback. I'm even willing to get one in the third round if someone is there. If they get a free agent, DJ Reed, and I'm talking about, I think they're going to sign a cornerback, but I'm talking about a starting caliber cornerback.
Yeah.
Right. I think they need to do that either way, right? But the tell-all is going to be if they don't extend them or give him any guaranteed money, because basically what they telling him is, look, you looked horrible, you played bad, the injury is worse than what we expected. I need to see you play. I'm not extending you.
And my only not really pushback, but my comment of the thing about the DB room and the secondary in general, what kind of defense do they want, right? We're getting ready to release one of our, however you want to think about it, one of our more productive interior D linemen, right? And then you're still going to have to go out and you're still not sure about your secondary, and after trading for what should have been, a very top end corner, like, how do they want to build this defense? And if I'm gonna go out there and spend another semi high draft pick or spend top dollar on another free agent corner, that's that's the admission of guilt, along with not extending him. Like, that's kind of it. So, yeah, it's a tough situation, I think, as of today. Now, he to your point, and everyone else who's very optimistic, hey, he could come back next year and be a dog and shut everybody up. And that works too. But it's unlikely.
Yeah. Ain't nobody reading into nothing, Deuce. I mean, Belante. CeeLo cut it out. That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him for sure. I want the defense quicker and faster. All right, let's see what else we got.
Yeah, I think every team has those guidelines. I think just about it, all 32 teams have that, like a kind of a standard for what they want at each position. But there's always exceptions, and you know, when you stray from that, it just depends on the position, the person, the player, and everything like that. I think a great example of that is Mikey Sanderstill last year, who I think as a corner, obviously you want a 6'2" corner who's quick as a cat and runs a 4.3, and but those guys don't really exist unless you're like top 5 pick of the draft. So a guy like Mikey defies those standards and plays bigger than he is, and so he's one example. But there's thousands of examples around the NFL of guys that don't fit in those parameters but are still excellent NFL players. That's a lot. It feels a lot better than last year. So no, it's
Now you
we're
feel
thrilled to
how
have
you're
Jaden,
around this
and
franchise
couldn't be
quarterback.
happier with his first year, and know he's going to keep getting better and better because not only that's what people do, but that's because of who he is, and he's always going to try to improve himself. And he's his own toughest critic, and he's going to do everything he can to maximize everything he has.
Looking at position as that guy and one that's looking
Bro, why
Yeah,
the
I think
audio is not better at the
it's
NFL
really. I
Combine?
think
This is
you
insane
have
to
one or
me,
you're looking
bro.
for one. I think that's
Like, why they
pretty
not passing
established.
around
So
mics or something?
we're very happy that we have
Yeah,
one.
the question is you can hear.
Yeah, I think that was really important. Early on, Jaden was the guy we knew we were going to draft, and we started talking with Cognalize, which is the company that we use for the VR. They're an excellent company, excellent people to work with, and they're very
Oh, what was the
committed to
name of the
Jaden.
company?
Talking with Cognalize, which is the company
Oh,
that we
Cogniline.
use for the VR, and they're an
Like,
excellent
oh, he just got them
company,
paid.
excellent people to work with, and they're very committed to Jaden, which is really cool too. So they've, whenever we've needed anything, they've done a great job of helping us out. So it's a big part of his development. Obviously there's a lot of other things that go into that. It's not just VR, but I think it's a great tool, and he uses it really well, and we'll continue to use that.
Let me ask you a question. How often do you think they actually? So, like, I don't think it's prototypical, dog tie. I think it's more so like he was saying. In order to get something like that, they're gonna have to be like within the top 5, and I don't think we have those. I mean, I don't know what 25, 40 was. Um, but he doesn't have a ton of speed, but he has like everything else you would want in a cornerback.
Who is
But
that? Oh, yeah, sure.
yeah,
I mean,
$1 trillion industry and horrible quality mics.
that's so
But
true.
yeah, how often do you think he uses that VR?
I think he uses it every week. I think it's part of his preparation, and I think only because I think it's every week. It could be maybe just beginning of the season, middle of the season, 3 or 4 times a year. Excuse me. But I want to say at least once a week because you get to see a new defense. And the whole point of the VR felt like was to prepare for something he hasn't seen before. So, you can either install plays, you can install defenses, and then the fact that you can speed up the play, what is it, 1.5 times the speed?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like that's the whole point. So I'm thinking once a week, but he could skip some days here or some weeks here and there, depending on the team. Like if we're playing the Eagles, and Cowboys, we already see them twice a year. You probably gonna skip those weeks because you know what they bring in. But other teams you don't see too often. He may use it for those examples.
Yeah, I think I'm with Vito here, bro. Like, and you too, kind of see like I think it's part of his practice.
Yeah.
Like I think it's part of his warm up. Like before he actually comes out on the field, like maybe he does it in a bubble because we haven't seen no videos of him doing it. I know he's not doing it in no room, right? Like, um,
What if it's at home? What if this is all like
that'd be insane to me. Like, that would
self
be, bro.
motivated?
I mean, I think it is. I mean, he's been using it for so long that I think it's a part of him. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he has it at home, because he even because the company that he mentioned, he was like they have a great relationship with Jaden. So I'm thinking this is the company that he's been using before he even came here.
I remember. But what do you? Don't you think? I mean, I know VR is used a little bit around the league in some teams. I feel like they treat this a little bit. They're kind of quiet about this VR thing. I mean, is it me or is that true? Like,
I've never heard it until Jaden, to be honest.
I feel like it's such a big deal to me that I would think you would see, what is it called? The thing they do on YouTube, this
Yeah,
the team,
yeah.
like they would do some inside stuff. NFL would be doing and stuff like it's
Maybe they
very.
don't use it. CeeLo?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder. It feels very just. It just feels very hush hush. Because I
I
think
don't know. I don't even
it'd
know
be
if it's
interesting.
hush hush. Because like if it okay, so like if it was hush hush, we wouldn't be hearing about it.
No, we hear it about a little bit, but it's like, oh yeah, great company, cool stuff. It's not everything he does. We've heard this same line before, not from Adam, but other people.
Yeah, but
And it
like
was,
all through the off season and training camp, we was hearing about it like every other day. It seemed like,
I want to hear more.
but maybe it was just us because
Yep,
I think it is. Like I think he's like I really believe that it's part of his preparation
agree,
for the team he's playing this upcoming week.
agree,
And I
agree.
also believe that a lot of other teams are not using it
But
because yeah,
I
go
would
ahead.
love to see him in a room, like you said, a room. Or I would love to see him. They record all this stuff. They record meetings, QB meetings, offensive line meetings,
Well, they ain't
defense.
record the joint with that he was doing with Ayuk.
Oh yeah.
I ain't forget about that. But yeah, go ahead.
But I would love to see him like either in a practice bubble or with a coach like David Blah or something, and they going through some stuff. Dave looking at the computer, he's doing his thing in real, in the simulator. That's like great content, but you don't see any of that. So
Well,
you and I here in the comment section, and we're speculating, but I feel like that would be really good content.
CJ from Orlando said he remember he said Jaden used it twice a week during one of the media Super
Okay.
Bowl Radio Row joints. So
Okay.
yeah, man, I think it is like I think he really does, bro. Like, but I think those are just one of those things where we're not going to show you this as an NFL team, right? Like we're not going to give you this access, right? And Dog Tie says the same VR company he used at LSU. He
Yeah.
uses it like we play Xbox on PS5. I think he's the first to use it because they talking about like I don't think he's the first to use it, but I think he may be the first to use it as consistent as he does.
I think that, so I know there's reports, there's like 16 teams that use it, but I think he's the first, they're the first to do it the way that they're doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the detail, the actual installs are real install. This isn't like Madden stuff. This is actual
it's real installs.
installs.
Yeah, game film. Yeah.
The stadiums are real.
He said he Meta Quest Oculus.
Yeah, I think it's a little more advanced, but man, yeah, it's dope. Whatever it is, it's dope.
Mental reps. I think it's the full process of a play. That's why I say like he's not doing it in those small room. I think it's the full process.
I would say
of
yes.
a play in pocket.
I would say yes. I would say
like
he's under center or in shotgun, dropping back, throwing. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Looking at places you've been, including Washington, what value does it add?
See, Dog Tie said it doesn't work for everybody because they still use it at LSU, and Buddy down there looked awful. But see, like, not only do you have to have like patience, but you also have to be humble.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you have to be humble. You have to have patience, and that takes a lot of patience, bro. Like, man,
But the dog tires point, do y'all remember? I'm going way back, but y'all remember the Atlanta game? He struggled in that game. They
yeah.
kept dropping that linebacker back. So it's not 100% like solution or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just
You, you, you can
it's
only like practice
what
what's
you already know.
installed in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like defense, right? It's just like preparing for a defense. If Cliff haven't seen that from them, he probably
You
wouldn't
can't. Yeah,
prepare for it, right? So,
prepare for it.
but now as you come into the game and you see like, oh, but he adjusted to it in the second half.
He adjusted to it. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's what makes
When you have a quarterback you can bounce ideas off of and kind of collaborate with as you look for different perspectives.
Yeah, I think with Jaden or any player, it's always good to get the perspective of our players and see what's important to them and their thoughts, because everybody has a different lens on things, and those guys have a really good perspective of what goes on in the locker room, what they need, what they want, and so getting their ideas, whether it be other players or what we can do to improve the facility, which they've given us great input on that, and always having an open dialogue, not just with Jaden, but with all our players is a great thing.
Terry's out to basically come to evaluate your roster and what you need when you have a quarterback like
Well, it's easier to not need a quarterback, but it's always a challenge every year, and that's why we have a great team. DQ and I talk every day about how we can really improve our team and what's the best way to do that. And we have a great staff to help us with that. But it's going to be a challenge every year, not just last year, not just this year, but next year is going to be a new set of challenges, and really excited that we have a great staff around us to help us.
Adam, what are your thoughts on what you guys do? When you look at Ohio State receivers specifically, is there something you see differently in what Brian Hartline does and how those guys move?
Yeah, Brian Hartline.
this is the interesting questions about Brian Hotline of Ohio State wide receivers.
He's a great coach, and he has been for a long time. And I think he pours his heart and soul into those guys to getting them ready for the NFL. And a lot of them have a lot of success early on. I know we had a couple of them, and so I think you can ask any team, and they'll say they have a lot of respect for those guys and that staff, and especially him in particular.
Adam, what are your thoughts on the state of the running back?
Why would he ask him that though?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the connection
Let's
with
see.
Brian.
Yeah, who's coming out of Ohio State? Um,
I mean, obviously, well, you got the two running backs, right?
yeah, I know about running backs. I'm trying to think because both of their wide receivers were freshmen, right?
The one kid was, but the other one, I think is available.
Oh yeah, Ibuka. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Ibuka. Yeah. That was interesting. So he didn't directly ask about it, but he asked about the the uh the wide receiver coach.
He just got promoted though, right? Hartline?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, he OC now?
I believe so.
Thanks, guys.
I think
Howdy, was
both,
good. I
both
see you
really.
there.
I think they're probably going to be a little more valued, but I think last year was a unique free agent class too, with running backs where they had some really good players that were out there and available. So, I think it'll probably even out. I think they were probably devalued a little bit too much, and I think it'll even out, kind of go back to where it should be. But I think last year was a little bit of an anomaly just because of how good the talent was in the free agent class.
And I've got time for two more. The perception of the franchise team.
He didn't answer the question at all.
With the run that you guys had, did it change anything for you in terms of how you're viewing building this team because of how far you guys got it?
In terms of the perception, that hasn't really changed how we go about things. I think.
Hold on, let me go back.
I know we have a couple of them, and so I think think
Let me see if I
you
can
can ask
hear the
any team, and
question
they'll
about the
say they have a
running
lot of respect
backs.
for those guys and that staff, and especially him in particular.
Adam, what are your thoughts on the state of the running back? For a number of years, kind of felt like maybe it was being devalued across the league. Then last year, we saw teams invest in running backs like the Packers, Eagles, Ravens, and an uptick in 1,000-yard rushing. Do you see a trend where the running backs are gaining?
Oh, he's talking about he's asking about the running backs being devalued.
Oh,
Um and and he answered about it being an anomaly this past year as far as veteran running backs because of all the talent.
Survival, or was that kind of unique to last year?
I
He
think
thinks an
yeah,
anomaly.
both really.
I
I
get it
think
set itself
they're
out.
probably
I
going to
think
be a
we
little more
drafted running
valuable. I
back
think
early.
last year was a unique free agent class too, with running backs where they had some
if we
really
have
good
our
players that were out there and available. So, I think it'll probably even out. I think they were probably devalued a little bit too much, and I think it'll even out, kind of go back to where it should be. But I think last year was a little bit of an anomaly just because of how good the team was.
So he thinks that the running back position last year was an anomaly. A lot of people would say, well, the running back position is coming back, is coming back. He said, nah, like he think it was a little too devalued years prior, but it would kind of even itself out. Bro, he getting a running back, yeah. Like
The talent was in the free agent class.
And I got time for two more. The perception of the franchise of teams changed league-wide with the run that you guys had. Did it change anything for you in terms of how you're viewing building this team in terms of how far you guys got in the postseason?
Um, in terms of the perception, that hasn't really changed how we go about things. I think our principles are the same. We want to bring in great people, great commanders that they're going to help us win. So
great
we're
commanders.
proud of
Mhm.
how the DMV's rallied behind us, and really really thrilled about what's to come, and just to see
so the question was about because of how far we got, does that change the perception of how they look at this offseason?
how our fans came out towards the end of the year and really supported us. And I think DQ's talked about it, but some of those games they really the players feel it. They really do. Falcons game in particular, and so really proud of that. Really happy for that, and had a lot of people
Falcons
that
game.
that I know that grew up in the DMV and have reached out and said how happy they are. So that's something that I
Oh,
think
what
we're
did he
all
say?
proud of,
Who
and
reached
we have a
out?
lot to thank. We have Josh to thank for that.
People
They
who
really
grew up in the DMV.
the players feel it. They really do. Falcons game in particular, and so really proud of that. Really happy for that, and had a lot of people that I know that grew up in the DMV and have reached out and
Oh, a
said how
lot of
happy
people
they
he
are.
know.
So
Okay.
that's something that I think we're all proud of, and we have a lot to thank. We have Josh to thank for that, and DQ and his staff, and so we're going to do whatever we can to keep making those people proud.
Both you and head coach Dan Quinn give a heavy weight to the person as much as the player. So after the success last year, is there any part to where you think the roster and the locker room is matured enough to where you needed to bring somebody in who may have a little bit of red flags or question marks on the character side of things?
Ooh, good
That's where
question.
you guys
Yeah, that's a good
stand in
question.
that.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on, and that was one of the coolest things when we were going through this
Let's
process
see if
last
he
year.
answered it.
When I really got to know DQ and we saw everything, you know, kind of we're really
Yeah,
aligned on
yeah, yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that is a
This is
big
good
thing for
stuff.
us. And finding the right people, and that's not just players. That's support staff, coaches, everybody. So that's always going to be at the core of what we do. And I've been a part of teams that when you start sacrificing that, then it usually doesn't work. And so, we've set out and really, I think what's really cool is in our exit interviews this year, we talked to a lot of players, and one of the biggest things that they hit on was we liked all the people you brought in, the players and the commanders and the competitors. And so don't lose sight of that. So we heard that from our players. We felt it ourselves. So that's always going to be at the core of what we do. And I mean, there may be an exception here or there, or you make a mistake,
There
and
it
we know that
is.
not on purpose, but that's going to always be the core of what we do.
There it is. There it is. All right, I'm cool. Cause I was like, I was about to have a little issue, bro. I was about to have a little issue. I was about to have a little issue. So, um, 102 guys, 102 crash outs. Okay, right? Like 102 cat. We already got one. I mean, he's not performing, you know what I mean? But we got one more. But what I do rule out, because
At least he's
somebody
on
has said,
at
would you
least he's
say,
on the
Cheeto?
field. At least he's on the field.
Yeah. Somebody sent messages earlier about Kyra Lacey. You can forget about it.
That's what I said. I was like,
Yeah, you can forget about it.
I was like, what y'all think about Gary Lacey?
Yeah,
I don't even think he got invited to the combine.
he didn't. He didn't. That's what somebody had sent me the tweet from earlier about him working out. You can forget about it, bro. He got promoted to
draft?
OC.
Well, he might go to jail though.
Oh, Cuddy rolled out. He said he about to watch Luka. It's all good, Cuddy. I think a lot of people was actually watching that game, to be honest.
It just started.
Yeah. The running back position was the value in the league. I don't think it was talking about the draft last year, though. He was trying to real hard to keep the focus on free agency. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. Lacey going to be. I think the Browns will take a chance on him. Bro. He's not getting past the 4th round. I don't think
The Browns is crazy.
he's not going past the 4th round unless they had internal conversations about him.
I can see the Cowboys going after him too.
Because I don't know I don't know where it is right now. Like I don't know where everything is. I haven't heard nothing since January, and it actually happened like 2 months before that. So I don't know. All right, man. So let's just talk a few about these guys up here, man. Yeah, we talked about Marshon earlier. So B-Rob, I think they go running back early in the draft, and I mean day 2. I'm gonna say day 1, day 2. I think they go running back. But I think B-Rob stays. I think what he's giving you when healthy, I think he's cheap. He's on the last year of his rookie deal. He has a lot to prove. That's what they say. This is the contract year. He was doing really, really well in the beginning of the year before he got hurt. I don't know what happened after that. Also, the line was getting hurt, and I think they're really high on B-Rob. I don't think he'll be RB1 going into next year, but I think he'll be here. I think everyone is looking for that lightning and thunder type backfield. And I still think he can give you that short yardage type stuff for B-Rob. So a lot of people think they're just going to release him. You're not going to trade him. No one's going to trade for him, right? But release him, why would you release like that? When I heard that, that makes absolutely no sense to me. What do you think?
Do you think they have VR for running backs?
Maybe they need to.
But nah, he's on the roster. He's definitely on the roster. I can't see him. Outside of injury, there's no reason to cut him.
Yeah, I agree. And that ain't got nothing to do with, some people make it seem like about his what happened to him year 1. And I don't think, it's just about football, and I think he's done enough to not get cut.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? The offensive line ain't help either. Even though his vision wasn't, what I'm saying, it was what it was.
He's a star. He's probably, what do you say? He's probably a top what, 25?
Yeah.
Top 25 running back.
Yeah. Early in the year he was like top 10 before he got hurt.
Exactly. So no, he's gonna be on the team.
Yeah, I think he'll be it. As far as the running back dog side, man, we need a home run hitter. I can't explain it no more than that, bro. We need a home run hitter, a home run hitter that can also run in between the tackles. We need an RB1 from college. We don't need, the colleges that had the 2 running backs and, they bring one in and he averaged 13 yards a carry and he's explosive and he could take it to the house. But now I need an RB. I need somebody that can take 15, 17 carries a game, bro, and can take it to the house. Because like B-Rob, Eckler, like those guys at some point had some holes, bro. Especially watching it live, you like get through the hole. So they just cannot go into another gear to get there. So like we definitely need a home run hitter, but also a RB1. What you think, CeeLo?
I agree. I agree. I think it's a lot harder said than done, or easier said than done, I should say.
Yeah.
I think we all would love that. And if we find them, great. I do think there's going to be some. I would not be surprised if they look into free agency for running back as well. Don't be. He said bringing some guys back, man. But also don't be surprised if they don't bring some guys back.
Yeah.
So I would expect them to be very active in our skill positions, in free agency and draft.
Yeah, I agree, man. Well, I don't know. Well, no, not so much a free agency. Like
Who?
so much as free, especially if you keep Eckler, right? Like if you keep Eckler, Trail ain't trying to hear it about Eckler, but
I wouldn't be. I can see both sides. I can see them keeping Eckler. I can see them moving on.
Yeah,
and mostly not because of Eckler. You now got the 2 concussions. It's a very minimal cap hit if you choose to move on. I just think it just depends on what's available in free agency and who they like.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else? Terry. We probably should give him his own little segment show one day because I think an extension is coming.
Yeah.
I just don't know when the extension is coming.
Right.
But do you see anything other than an extension happening for Terry, and when do you think it'll come?
No, I think I think they'll extend them, and I think if I had to guess, just before training camp.
Yeah.
Just make them feel good.
I think it'll be one of them summertime joints too.
Yep. Just yep.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think he'll participate that much. I think he'll participate in OTAs, but it might not be a lot in a sense. But it won't be enough to be like it was with Ron. Remember that year with Ron or whatever? He didn't come at all on OTAs. Yeah, but I think he'll come. It might be like what they call it, hold in or whatever the case might be.
Then I think the success, early success last year, going into year 2 of this whole thing, I feel like Terry is motivated. It's just going to be details,
Yeah, this you make a good point, and it's those commanders, bro. Like, who are the biggest commanders from that free agent pool that was also somewhat produced on the field somewhat? He said July. Oh, July 26th. You stamping that? Okay, dog tag.
Okay, that's a very specific
date. Yeah.
date.
Who else we got? Andrew Wylie. What you think, Andrew Wylie? That's a tough one.
I think they keep him.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, what they see in free agency, I don't think there's a lot of people out there. And then through the draft, you still might want them to stick around to kind of help mentor or whatever the next person or whatever, or be a stopgap or something like that. So I absolutely think Wylie is here.
I think
he said a dot, bro.
I think I agree. I think the reporters like John Kine, he feels like the team is a lot higher on the offensive line than everybody else is. Yeah. So I expect all those guys to be back, even Allegretti. But I do expect them to have a lot higher floor in the backup section. So swing tackles, you might not see Trent Scott back. You might see somebody else back. So I think you're gonna start to see a lot of competition. That where you're not going to see much of a fall off between a Wylie and whoever his backup swing tackle is, for example. So I do think they will address the offensive line, but in a different way.
And like they may bring some people in here, man, but don't get upset. Like, bro, it's gonna be some people they sign. Like, we're trying to prepare you. Like, I'm trying to prepare myself. It's gonna be some people they sign in free agency that we automatically gonna think they signed them to start.
There are people in these comment sections that I won't name any names that tried to convince me that Mike Davis was going to get CB1 reps week 1.
Oh, gosh.
So we got to chill. Granted, Mike did play a lot in week 2. Got cooked, but whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't there week 3. He was on special teams.
Malik Neighbors was like, this y'all boy?
He was on special teams to like week 15, I think. It's week 16 or something, bro.
I can't believe he tried to guard Malik Neighbors, bro. Oh my goodness.
Well, shout out to Mike Davis. Daron Payne, nothing happens with Daron Payne. His cap hit is too crazy. He still has guaranteed money, so he'll absolutely be here next year. Hopefully he takes on a role. I mean, like, you always see him in the spring working out, stuff like that, but it's like, man, I need you to be dominant, bro. Like, this stuff ain't translating. You out there working out with Chase. You need to work out with somebody else, bro.
Chris Jones, Nolan Smith,
Ryan, like somebody,
Jalen
bro.
Carter.
Warren Sapp, like, pay these dudes, man. Stop being cheap, because all you buy is cars. Oh, what is Johnny New still gonna go with Jon Allen? He's supposed to work out with him in the spring.
I know he did say that, didn't he?
I don't know what that's
I
going
guess
to
they could. I mean, these cats don't really have any, it don't matter.
I don't know, man. Yeah, man. It's another episode. It's going to get exciting the further we get into NFL Combine. Everything starts on Thursday, but I think everybody is here as far as players and all that other good stuff. I think Dan Quinn presser is Thursday, I think his presser is Thursday, I want to say. Dan Quinn.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll absolutely recap that presser, and then it's the Combine. And then, like, it's straight uphill, I guess, from here. You got the Combine, right? The franchise tag window is already open. We have free agency starting up in March in a couple weeks. The first week of free agency, we're going to be running live every day, 4 or 5 hours that day. It might be me, it might be somebody else. We're going to be taking turns, but we're going to be up. If you're interested in coming on, hit me up, hit one of us up, let us know. You can join for a little bit, talk about the team. But yeah, man, we're going to be live. The second week, probably not be on as much because that's usually the slower part, the second wave. Free agents is probably going to be ended by then. So, yeah, going to be a lot of content for free agency. Then we probably take another break and then the draft. So it's a whole lot, man. It's a whole lot coming up. Like I said, NFL season never ends. So we appreciate y'all. CeeLo, got any last words?
Man, looking forward to the activity this week. Next week beyond March 12th, I think, is the beginning of free agency.
Actually, 10th is legal tampering, or is it the 12th legal? Hold on, let me look at it. Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, March 10th is legal tampering. That's when all the juices at 12 noon. And then 4 p.m. on the 12th is when teams can actually. Well, because remember the last few years, especially the year before last, we had like 3 or 4 people we made. Remember, like legal tampering, they say they agreed, and then they end up moving on to somebody else by the time it was officially official. So we might. So just it's okay to be excited, but just don't go buying jerseys yet. Official. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us, man. We know your time is very valuable for you to spend it with us. We absolutely appreciate it. Commanders Camp 14 starts on July 24th. Can't wait. You know, we always try to get there a lot. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one hop.